Hello everyone, this is Azeeza Jalaludeen. Again, we are on another week of beautiful call and with my beautiful sister, Alejendrah. Say hello, Alejendrah.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us. It's really good to have another talk today. We're going to be sharing about more women empowerment, and I can't wait to share what I got to share today. How are you
Yes,
today, Aziza?
I am
You're
feeling
in India right
awesome
now, right?
and I am in Chennai and I just have to show you the view. I hope you can see that. Look at that. Look at
Oh, wow.
Chennai. And I'm
Yeah.
in my hotel room here, and it's some amazing view. In here, whenever I visit Chennai or anywhere in India, it just amazes me in the duality and the dichotomy that we see, like right in front of our eyes. Like yesterday, I was in my dear friend's place, and it's a beautiful, what do you call, apartment that they live in, and right opposite the gateway to the apartment is a house that's probably like such a smaller proportion, probably one twentieth of what they are living in. I'm like, oh my god, and that's a natural way of being for them. And
Yeah.
it's not that it's right or wrong. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. I've been in India. I've been to Mumbai, and it was just really, it was, the diversion and the opposites. Yeah, that's something that you can experience in India.
Yes,
Anyway, let's
that's the
get
opposite we're
on
talking
today.
about. Yeah,
So what do we have
opposites
for
that we're talking
today?
about, right? The opposites we're talking about, right? And
Yep.
the love that we have for the opposites and to fall in love with the opposites.
Mm,
That's what we're
yeah.
talking about in life. Great. So, sister, tell us the call for today. You had some interesting insights while I'm very busy getting my stuff going in India. You had some awesome posts, and let's share about that and get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
yeah. So it's been quite interesting because the deeper I go into this whole thing about women empowerment and how we women we view ourselves and the social conditioning that we have gone through for centuries,
Yeah.
it just shows how much women are controlled by the media, controlled by people's opinions, and how, you know, women actually choose not to be themselves because they just simply don't feel safe to be themselves, which is actually quite a sad thing. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I would like to phrase it in such a way that we say that we are being controlled, or it is a perception that we are being controlled.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like
true.
that's distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that's what it looks like, and people use that as an excuse to
Mm.
be feeling controlled. What do you think?
Yeah, but the way I see the word control
Yeah,
is that no one can be under the control of something or a person unless the person gives permission.
exactly. That's what we're talking
Right?
about.
And the thing is, what we're going to talk about today is, it's how much women have been put into a box in order to fit certain parameters and to fulfill certain roles, and how women actually have been conditioned with this Barbie doll syndrome. Yeah, and when I say control, is as long as a person doesn't know, is oblivion to it, they are under control of something. Yeah, and I can share this from the work that I do with neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis. We are in control of our thoughts. We are in control of ourselves. And at times when we don't exercise that power, the power that we have to control everything that happens in our lives, then we are at the mercy of something else. And that is, in a way, that is control. You see what I mean? Yeah. So today's hangout, the whole purpose of the hangout today is to motivate more thinking, more deeper thinking, and to for you women to really start asking yourself questions about how you are being with yourself, how you are presenting yourself, and not just that, but what are the reasons behind your behavior? What motivates that behavior? Okay, and today we're going to talk about hair, body hair, hair everywhere, everywhere, not just your head, everywhere. A couple of days ago, I posted on Facebook, I just had this picture of women protesting on the streets in Iceland for something, and then it got changed. Okay, but the thing is that I was okay. Wouldn't it be wonderful, you know, for more women, you know, standing up for what is right for them, you know, and then letting the hairs just grow. And it was let it grow, like that song. Let it go, but let it grow. Yeah, because, you know, I really, and also I started asking myself this question, you know, why have I been waxing and I stopped waxing? Then from waxing, I moved to shaving, and it was more a environmental choice that I made. I didn't continue want to be waxed because of the waste that is created. It's just insane. You know, I mean, it's just really, really wasteful, and I just don't think that it's good for the environment at all. Apart from that, it's painful. So I was thinking, why would I be putting myself through pain, you know, every freaking month? Doesn't make sense. And then shift on to shaving. And then also the shaving thing, it's also another environmental problem in my mind, because, you know, all the plastic that is used to make these razors and all those things, you know, it's like, it's very wasteful. Don't you think so, Azeeza?
Yeah, I think there's more to it, right? Than the wastage is like what you're doing to ourselves while in the
To the
process of
environment,
doing that way. Yeah, yeah, to the
right?
environment.
Yeah. So yeah,
Tell me more, getting more interesting.
yeah. Yeah, so then I started thinking, well, you know, it doesn't really make sense, you know, for any woman to shape their bodies in order to look in a certain way. You know, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, you who is, you know, watching this video, does it really make sense that you as a woman, you know, you shave your legs, you shave your armpits, you shave your bikini line, and, you know, eyebrows and whatnot. You know, does it really make sense? And the other thing is, how come is it okay for men to wear their body hairs and not okay for women? Where did that come from? I'm serious, you know, where did that come from?
You know, you use the word feel to make them feel a certain, I mean, you said to look a certain way, right?
Mm.
It's actually, in my mind, it's like making yourself feel to look a certain way. You're feeling that you actually look a certain way.
Yep.
It's actually the feeling that's going on in you that is like, oh, I'm looking a certain way. Like you can relate to this when you look at, you know, you want to take a picture and you take it and then say, hey, that doesn't look good. So
Yeah.
it's about looking good, right? And then you take another picture, but to other people, it's like, that looks normal, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that in our mind is telling us that it's not good, not looking good. So it's a very important gesture that we're looking at, because in life we are conditioned in a certain way. I think we were having a chat earlier on. In the Islamic culture, or, you know, women are highly not encouraged to remove facial hair.
Hmm. And do you
And
know why?
well, to me, I'm like, that's not natural, because if it's not supposed to be there, it won't grow there. How's that one?
That's the thing, you see, like, we don't remove, let's say, hair from a head, right? Yeah, and
Yeah,
people
yeah,
hate being bald, right? People
yes,
don't like being bald, right?
yeah,
So then we keep the hairs on our head, but then when it comes to, you know, hair elsewhere, how come it's not okay? And this is the thing, you know, I mean, if God created, you know, our bodies the way are created, and knowing that everything serves a purpose, why do we have to go and remove it? To me, it doesn't make sense anymore. You know, it's like, you know, like sometimes, you know, like some doctor says, well, your appendix doesn't really fulfill a purpose. It's useless. But the appendix is there for a reason, right? I've been doing some research because I wanted to really share something, you know, a bit more substantial here. So, and I highly recommend you guys that you go and you look for information on the health and the relation of health and body hair from the Kundalini Yoga teachings. Do you know that actually Kundalini Yoga is a whole science? It's a whole science.
All the historical, you know, findings has got science in it. And
yeah.
So I would love to hear that scientific aspect of what you found, because we love people, you know, we love to, you know, get that facts out. Our left brain always needs all these informations, you know, the whys.
Yeah.
Why do I have to not to do that, or why I have to do that? So share with us on what you've got.
So one thing that I found out, and actually I learned this also from when I was learning Kundalini Yoga. One thing that we were all encouraged for actually to let our hair grow to its natural length. There was a point where I let my hair just grow and grow and grow and grow, and it got to around my butt area.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell the difference between that time and when I cut my hair very short. The difference in my energy level and my awareness, it was very different. I'm growing my hair again.
Okay.
Yeah. But one thing is that hair on your head actually is like antennas. You receive information through your hair. Yeah. So then it's there to help you in your spiritual development. Hair is very important. Yeah. Now, some people ask, so what about the Buddhist monks that they shave their head off, right? But if you look into ancient cultures, the majority of the ancient cultures, you know, both men and women, they kept their hairs long, very long, right? Now, for the Buddhists, they have this very, I would say, dedicated and, what's the other word? It's not persistent. Oh, you gotta help me with this word. It's very dedicated and very diligent practices, spiritual practices.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, the way I see it is that that's one of the reasons probably why they can afford to lose their hair, because they're practicing diligently every day.
Yeah.
But
and I also think, I also feel like, you know, from a perspective of right and wrong, right? So there's always many various ways of reaching where we want to go. So it's not right and wrong, you know, not touching on the right and wrong things. We're just looking in the generic perspective, and I definitely can resonate with all the long hair, because then it makes sense. You know, all the saints and sages in India, they're like, no, don't touch my hair. And the other people that we know about are the our dear friends from Punjab. They they grow their hair and they keep it.
Punjab.
Punjab, that's right.
Yeah.
Your favorite where the favorite Bhangra dance come from.
Yeah. Yeah. Also the Native Americans, also the Incas, the Mayas, they kept their hair long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Chinese tradition has long hair.
Yeah. And also, you know, the hairs on the eyebrows. Did you know actually that the hairs, the eyebrows, actually, they control the deep analytical part of the mind?
Oh my God.
And that is one of the reasons why it's encouraged not to pluck the eyebrows.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You see, that is like specifically the conversations that we have in the Islamic culture, where you know, we are encouraged not to remove facial hair, plus, you know, specifics to like shaping the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Now I know why. Oh no, I'm gonna say this out, Kina. Okay, I'll say it out anyway. Is that
Yeah.
why you use the word that, about beauty, and, they say that beautiful people are dumb because you don't get to analyze.
What? Beautiful people, what?
They say women, some of them who are like dressed up and all made up and all clean and proper, clean and, trimmed, they say
Yeah.
that they're like dumb looking.
Well, actually, okay, I think there is truth in that. I mean, some women choose to, you know, be dumb because they're not, but they
Because they're
choose
so
to
focused
be
in getting to look good, right?
dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the eyebrows actually connect with the deep analytical part of thinking of your mind, right? Then the hair in the legs and in the body in general, and that will include also armpits. Okay, this creates a magnetic field around your body. That's why it should not be touched. And not just that, but actually it protects the functioning of the sympathetic nervous system. So, and also another thing that I remember very clearly actually being explained in a Kundalini yoga class is that, for example, the hair, right? It takes certain amount of time to grow, but it's not just the time that it takes to grow, but it's actually the kind of energy that the body needs to use in order to produce hair. So it's like prana, the chi that it's in the body, okay? So if a person is constantly removing hair from the body has to go through great efforts to replenish that. So then you got to think about this. If you are constantly removing hair from your body, you are removing that energy and you are depleting yourself from energy. Yeah. So that's on, eyebrows, legs,
Wow.
okay. So and also one thing that actually is recommended in Kundalini yoga is the usage of a wooden comb instead of plastic metal. You have to use a wooden comb, and the wooden comb is so that it stabilizes the magnetic field.
Oh, no wonder in India they use a lot of wooden combs.
Yeah. So there's this reason, behind those little details that the information has been lost in time, but
Yeah.
there is a very valid reason why we use certain things. And the other
Yeah.
thing that is recommended is that the hair has to be kept. I mean, as long as you can possibly get it. And I decided that I'm gonna just let my hair grow. And the split ends. This is actually a recommendation from Yogi Bayan. He's the wonderful man who took Kundalini yoga from the east to the west. Yogi Banyan. So he said that if your hair starts splitting, you just have to, instead of cutting it, you just have to treat it with almond oil. But you should not cut your hair because it's your antennas. You are receiving information and you're receiving energy through your hair. So, and also they also recommend to cover the crown to protect it. Yeah. And like you have your crown covered, right? And in a lot of ancient cultures, actually, that was something that was practiced.
Yeah, that's what we discussed on the first our first hangout,
Yeah,
remember? How I
yeah,
spoke
yeah,
about when we were together. And
yeah.
it's fact that, crown covering, especially for men and women, I always remember my dad saying that, a beauty of a full attire comes with a crown, with a headdress. If you
Mm.
notice, all attires that's like so-called culturally or even in military, right? You have the head gear to protect your head.
Yeah, even
So
in
it's
the
like the
army.
full package.
Yeah. I mean, the whole of, if you look at all the tribes through, say South America, there's always a headpiece. Yeah, yeah. But somehow, in the modern world, we got rid of that. Not cool anymore.
Yeah, and I feel like, that's a very important part of our life. So the crown, and then when I heard about the crown chakra thingy, like what you're sharing right now,
Mm.
it made complete sense that, it's about that fullness. So it's not a religious or anything like that, that we look at it. When we look at it in a perspective of a choice that we're making, then it makes a lot of difference in the way we hold it, the way we walk it, and the way we live it, right? It's completely a different game that we're looking at. Yeah, so come back to the topic of looking good, or the aspect of, you know, us feeling like it's something that we want to advocate in our life. I mean, is it about looking good, feeling good, or what is perceived to be a good feeling? I
That's
think
right.
that's something that we need to go deeper into, because you know there's so much of conditioning around the world that naturally we feel like, oh, when I do that and I have the acceptance with the society in a certain way, then I'm going the right track, and so I am feeling good about it. So the feeling good comes from a lot of approval, right? The fact that my community or my society or the people that I'm living with are accepting me, so I'm feeling good. Is that an authentic good? That's the question I
Yeah.
think we need to address right now. Like we were
Yeah.
speaking about people in Europe, right? Girls in Europe or ladies in Europe, they have a certain state of like that they have to be skinny. The models appear skinny. And that models thingy has been a big thing these days.
Yeah.
What's your take
Actually,
on
I
that?
want to just in Europe. I mean, it has gone through. I mean, across the world.
Yeah.
Like, I had the input actually from Jesus from Mexico. He lives in the States,
Hmm.
and he was pointing out the stereotyping of women
Yeah.
and how women have got caught up in the Barbie stereotype, Barbie
Oh,
doll.
oh.
Yeah, and I remember having this conversation months ago with my son and my daughter about Barbie dolls, and Hannah, still 17, she was just saying, you know, how detrimental has been the effect of having Barbie dolls in the world and in the consciousness of women. I was looking at her, Joseph was looking at her, we were just listening to her like, wow, you're right, you know? And I mean, young women are getting this, you know, because think about this, you know, a little girl who looks at this doll, you know, and is so-called pretty and whatever, you know, and grows up thinking, I want to look like this. You know, no wonder there are so many women going through the knife in order to, you know, make themselves look like Barbie dolls. And that's ridiculous. And actually, I want to show you something. This friend Jesus from Mexico, actually, he shared this, the link. Um, okay, can you see this? I'm just gonna play this video. Can you see these women? Can you see it on my screen? Can you see it, Aziza? Yeah. So you can see here very obviously, you know, how women look on the left and the right.
Yes, yes, I can see. I was on mute. Yes, they look
Oh,
so pretty with the natural self. Oh my God.
but you see these, you know, once they have, you know, like the hair done, the makeup done, you know, they,
Oh, at least she looks so gorgeous without the makeup.
yeah. But it's like, you know, this is something that women have been conditioned to look like.
Mm, yeah.
You know, look at this, you know, and the reason why I'm actually showing this is to reflect upon, you know, as women, who are we supporting by going through all this hassle of putting on all that makeup? Look at this girl. See the top left? Even
Yeah.
this one, you know, she's really
Oh,
gorgeous without anything, but look at that.
yeah. Wow, she looks so gorgeous without the makeup. Are you sure
Yeah.
this in person?
Yeah. So the thing is that we women, we have so much power, and that is one of the reasons why there's so many products developed for us. See, and even this guy just looks completely different. It's a different person.
Actually, when you look at it, it's always the perceived look of how I should be, and that if I dress up and I do my eyes a certain way, I'm looking better.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what has been happening. And
Yeah.
if you look at it clearly, it's like our own, we are seeing with a very, and what do you call, an untrue perception that we are looking good,
Yeah.
which
So
is, if it's somebody else, like this person will never agree that they're looking beautiful naturally, may not agree, right? Most of the time.
yeah.
And when we look at it and we are a third person, we're giving them that feedback. It's like, you're looking gorgeous without that stuff going on for you. So all those things added on, like, to make the eye and everything, is that was a journey that all of us go through to
Mm.
some extent. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have all this stuff. And I actually used to wear a lot of eyeshadows some time back, and I'm not sure whether you recognize that. Like nowadays, I'm like going out without eyeshadows, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not. It's okay not to wear eyeliner, so I'm okay both ways, with or without. And
Yeah.
sometimes when I have like eyeshadows and everything, I feel like what they say made up, and it doesn't feel like me anymore.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So
I'm gonna read a message.
and I
Yeah.
want to just touch on something before we go on to. So you said about this thing about doll, right?
Mm.
You use the word like doll. I'm not sure whether you remember that or whether you do that, but in general, people will be like looking at girls and say that, oh, they look like a doll, so pretty.
Mm.
Babies, in my family, it's like a no-no. Nobody calls anybody a doll. A doll is not a live thing. It's a dead stuff.
Yeah.
So my brother's like, no, you don't call anybody a doll.
Yeah.
It's so offensive because it's just a doll. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what we're being brought up to feel like you should look pretty like a doll. So those stuff.
Yeah,
So
it's a conditioning. So
yeah,
in the video that you guys watch, of all these women, they're really beautiful naturally, but they have to, they put on all this makeup and all this hair stuff.
yeah.
But then the question is for what? I mean,
Mm.
yes, we women, we want to look good, we want to feel good, but then at the same
Not
time,
just
you
women,
look at,
men too.
what underneath that. What's below that? What's making you feel that if you don't put on makeup or you don't do something to alter yourself, that you might not look as good? So then you got to ask yourself, okay, so who are you pleasing? Are you really pleasing yourself? Are you really pleasing somebody else? And also you got to ask yourself the question, how high is your self-esteem? How much do you love yourself to just be comfortable in your own skin without having to alter anything in you, anything, and that also includes, the, hair removal and all the things that, women go through in order to fit certain models. Now, this is actually, I'm calling you to really think about this and to really not just put thought, but actually I want you to meditate on this, okay? Anytime you're buying makeup, I want you to think about the environmental impact of that purchase, okay? Because it's all the plastic that is involved, all the chemicals, the wrapping, and a lot of things that get involved for you to get, say a foundation put on your face, okay?
But you know that in terms of some of the products nowadays, they come up with this notion that they are all eco-friendly, which is the ingredients that we're talking about. But there's
Yeah,
the other works around it that still is plastic. There is still whatever. So
yeah,
this is quite contradictory
it is.
and to what is normal.
So one thing is, just think about the environmental impact of your purchase, okay? Now, if you really, really must put on makeup, choose eco-friendly products. And there are some lines now that come in, biodegradable packaging. So it doesn't have as much impact as the other ones. And also you got to think of the process of making these kind of cosmetics. You know, there's animals that are used to for the test. You know, I mean, all sorts of stuff goes into, you know, animals. So think about that too. But ultimately think about why you're doing it. And do you really, really, really need to do that? And I will read the message from Jesus. This is to all the women listening to this hangout. And he says that there is a man for every woman. Now, the problem is that, you know, I'm translating because this is written in Spanish. It says that the problem is when we are looking for the ideal woman or the ideal man, okay, in the wrong place. And the worst thing that could happen is that our focus is not adequate. And then he's saying, be patient, knowing that the person that is perfect for you, the right person for you, will come at its own right time. Neither before, neither after. You just have to trust that. And he mentioned this because we had just a little conversation, and then we were talking about how, how some men can only see women through the makeup. And then when men look at the same woman that has been put in makeup and then they take the makeup off, sometimes they don't recognize the woman. Wouldn't that be actually quite sad? I think that would be quite sad and scary, actually, if a man recognizes his woman without makeup.
Yes. Did you know that somebody was suing a woman, the wife, because after the marriage?
Yes, I shared that on a hangout. Yeah, you heard that too, right?
Yeah, it's about a woman who got married, and then now she's being sued because she doesn't look like how she was. Oh my God, that is so devastating. I was like, oh my God.
There was another case actually, and this was in the news. It was
continue the conversation I'm hearing. Sorry, continue the conversation I'm hearing. I need to plug in. I need to plug in the wire. Just continue.
There was another case in Korea. It was quite a famous case that this man actually sued his wife for his kids being ugly. And I don't know if you read that news. It was on the news. And then what happened is that actually this the wife, before she got married to this man, she went through a lot of plastic surgery to make herself look very, very pretty, right? But then, of course, you know, she gave birth, and the kids will look like her, you know, as she was before. And the husband was so shocked that the kids were ugly, and then sue the woman. I mean, that's, you know, how insane this is, you know. I mean, this is an extreme case, but it happened. It was on the news. You can actually Google and find out, you know. Husband suing the woman, I mean, the wife, for giving him ugly children. So having said that, then really beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
Beauty is very subjective. But what I have seen, and this is my personal observation, what has happened in our world is that beauty has been stereotyped, and it has been fed to people, both men and women, as something that has to be attained, as if it's something that is, you know, like, oh, everybody has to be beautiful, forgetting completely, you know, ignoring the fact that every person has beauty, right? So then what the media has been feeding people is this idea that a sexy woman has to be 90, 60, 90, right? Has to look like a Barbie. And who looks like a fucking Barbie, you know? And I'm not going to excuse my French, okay? No, because it's ridiculous. You know, I'm really fed up with that. It's like, who fucking looks like a Barbie doll? Nobody. You know, it's a doll. And as you said, Aziza, dolls are dead things. I mean, it's like an iPhone. It's like a pen. It's an object. A woman, it's just so denigrating, you know, to call a woman a doll, because a woman is so much more than a doll. My God, you can compare it. You know, if somebody ever called you doll, please correct them. Don't let them call you doll. It's insulting. No, 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 no. Come on.
To even, you know,
Yeah, a woman is more than that, and that is something that I think Jesus was also sharing, saying
yeah,
that you women don't have to change anything in you, and I bet that a lot of men actually have this view that we women, just by the fact that we are women, we are just perfect beings. Because think about all the things that a woman can do. First of all, we are capable of bringing life. That is a huge deal. And that is something that only women can do. That makes you beautiful already. That's it, you know. You don't have to, you know, go through all this. And it is so insidious, Azeeza, and all of you who are watching this, and I would love to hear your views on this, that, you know, the industries, they profit so much from women being unboxed and women being in the state of hypnosis, okay, hypnotized to think that and to believe that they have to go through all these processes and buy all these products in order to be beautiful.
yeah, they always use this word, no pain, no gain. So they get you to go into pain, feeling like, you know, it's okay to be in pain so that you can gain. I'm like, that is such a conditioning. Well, the
That's
other day, I was talking about my facial hair, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I've got a bit of facial hair growing. And I usually use this very nice, and I don't wax and I don't, you know, go through threading. That is like too painful for me. And my friend was telling, it's okay, you know, a little bit of pain is going to make you look good. But I'm like, no, I'm not going to put myself, that's not true. I don't think that having pain is the answer to get what I want. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm okay with what I, you know, to feel comfortable in the way that I'm doing what I'm doing right now, right?
yeah. And you know what, Aziza, and you know everyone just watching this, I
Mhm.
really think it comes down to priorities
Yeah,
and where the woman is at in her life.
yeah,
You know, I mean, what is your priority? Is your priority really be, you know, truly yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, celebrate your own natural beauty
yeah,
with all the hairs and everything that God has given you?
yeah,
Are you there, or are you still in the space of, oh, I got to do something in order to be accepted?
yeah.
Or I have to look like everyone else so that I don't get, you know, bullied, put down, whatever. And I'm gonna, do you have to add something? I'm gonna answer questions soon. Aziza?
Yeah. Just before that, you know, when you talk about that, I also remember there was a period in time, because I wear contact lens. There was a period in time that wearing the colored lens made me look a certain way. So I'm like, oh, that is what I love doing, to wear my contact lens every time. So it
Mm,
actually became like a facade that I was putting on. So something
mm,
that's not real about me, that my colors looking a certain way. And
mm.
it came to a time when I told myself that I will not go out without a colored lens.
Huh.
So my original color is never seen. But right now, look at my eyes. Do I look pretty?
They're
My
beautiful.
eyes black.
So
And it's
gorgeous.
like I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And it's like that is like the shift that you take, and then you know that it's okay to look the way you are. And what happened in the middle, that suddenly you want to cover yourself up with something that's not true. And I feel like that holds us back from being authentic and being real. And people pick it up in various ways. They pick up, doesn't
Mm,
matter
yeah.
where we are, how we look, and the real stuff. Then we attract people that are also in that sphere of insecurity and uncertainty. Then the cycle goes on. You're
Mm,
insecure, so you hang around with people who are insecure, and then you feel more insecure, so you do more stuff, and then you attract more people that are insecure, and then It's just in that cycle.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
get out, you don't break away,
yeah,
and it's not you. And that is the vicious cycle that many people and many women are stuck in, thinking that that is life. So they hang around with people who are insecure.
yeah. And I mean, we surround ourselves with the people that either will kick our asses and, you know, will ask more of us than we do. And that's one step to mastery, is to surround ourselves with people who ask more of you than you do, right? Or we surround ourselves with people who will just simply feed what we are looking for. So again, earlier I mentioned, it really depends on your priorities and what is, I mean, what are you at in your life right now? So if you are at the stage where you are in between, like you want to be more of yourself, but you're not really so sure how to do it. And actually, this ties in with a question that we received from Chrissy in Singapore. She's a young woman, brilliant woman. I know her for several years, and her question is: this whole time, women have been made to feel ashamed of their hair, the body hair that they have in their bodies. They are made to believe that in order to be attractive, they should remove their hair in various areas. How does one reverse that thinking? And how can one prepare themselves to embrace the natural state without being affected by what society has to say? What will be your answer to that, Azeeza? And thank you, Chrissy, for your question. Awesome.
Thank you, Chrissy, for your question. I think it's a discussion that we get on in this, this second bit, and that's really what we need to do right now, because it's not about discussing what's not working, but how do we go about finding an answer for it in life. So for me, it really reflects, when we were talking about how we are perceiving and looking at things and feel that we are in a certain way. When I'm recalling back the day when after I did Money and You, the next day, right, I was going for the completion morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting into the MRT station, into an MRT train in Singapore, and I'm like, I saw this lady. My first thought was, when I looked at her, I had this very interesting feeling. She was dressed in a certain way that I don't even, remember at this moment, but I know that she was dressed in a certain way. When it was me before Money and You, I would have given so much of judgment, so much of look about, how she's dressing, and probably, look down at her. But
Mm-hmm.
after going through Money and You, I was just giving her a like, okay, that's what she has chosen to do. And it's not right and wrong, and there was no judgment around it. And I could feel myself feeling very complete and happy with myself for having that thought. So what
Mm.
we do in Money and You is a lot of work on ourselves, on getting clear. So we're talking about the morning after the blocks game, right? So it's a lot about getting clear about ourselves and the clearing process that we always been sharing in from the number one um, uh, part one of our videos uh, channels. So it's a lot for me when such questions come up, like what Chrissy is saying. The specific step is to go into the conditioning of what's
Mm.
been happening for that person to come up with that thought. What has
Mm.
triggered them to feel that way? And to work on that issue. It could be community, it could be a personal perception or something told to them by their family members, right? Or their, when they grew up,
Yeah.
or in the community they grew up with, that it's okay or not okay. So it's about addressing that and going through the various methodology to like really reflect back on
Yeah.
and do that. Yeah. So for yourself, what do you suggest? I mean, you are a specialist in that, if not
So what I will say about this is that you have to think about yourself, like, look, this is, in a way, it's a revolution that it has started some time ago, and we are part of it. We can be part of it. We don't have to be part of it. It's your personal choice. But the thing is that if we keep on doing the same thing, that we have been doing because of conditioning, societal conditioning, then you got to ask yourself, well, when is it going to stop? Right? So, and if we keep on doing the same thing, we're just feeding the same thing, and it's not going to stop. But it takes the decision of conscious individuals to say, okay, this is not for me, so then I step out of that game. You don't have to play that game. You don't have to play the game of women, you know, being put in a box, you know, to look in a certain way so then others can profit from it. Because it's a reality of it. I mean, who profits from, you know, you putting all that makeup and you shaving and you waxing and you coloring your hair, doing whatever you're doing, you know? And then the media sells this message that if you don't look that way, you're not going to be part of the pretty girls, the pretty women, sexy women, which is total bullshit, you know? So you really got to think about, you know, what are your priorities? You know, where are you heading? You know, what kind of woman do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who is swayed by, you know, the tides of, I mean, the latest trend, and then if you don't have that latest trend, then you're not good enough or you're not pretty enough? You know, you got to ask yourself that question. And the other thing is that, because you're asking, how can you reverse that thinking? That starts with your decision. What is the best thing for you right now? And not because I'm saying it, not because Azeeza is saying it, it's because you choose it for yourself. You know, you got to make your own choices. Think about, as I mentioned before, earlier in this conversation, think about the environmental impact of your choices. There is a fabulous book called Choices of Now by Barney Wee. He's my NLP instructor from Singapore. You can actually get it on Amazon. It's called Choices of Now. And in that book, it talks about the impact of our choices. And I couldn't agree more with that. So think about that, and also think about what you're doing with your body, your energy levels, your health when you are removing hair from your body. And if you were the kind of woman that was removing hair from your body because you were thinking that maybe, you know, some men will not look at you or somebody will not be interested in you, then think about this. If this man really, really, really loves you, he will take you with hairs and everything. Okay? And a real man, I'm telling you, okay, a real man will not ask you to do something that you're not comfortable with, because that man will demonstrate his love with unconditional support. And anyway, I will say to all women, test your man by not shaving, not waxing. Let him see you with no makeup. Serious. And if that man really loves you, he will stick with you. You know, actually, that could be actually one of the tips for anyone who's dating, you know, on those dating sites, they should have that, you know.
Yeah.
Or even the question, what will you do if I grow my armpit hair and then I wear a bikini with my armpit hair all grown up like that? You know, will you still go out with me?
Wow. Yeah, that is such a powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious. You know, will he take you? And if the man says no, thank him. Say, thank you for letting me know you're not for me. Bye-bye. Go your way. Don't want you. Don't need you.
Now you are sharing a lot of emotions saying that, right?
Oh my God. Yes. I'm fired. I'm on fire. Fire up.
Yeah.
No, the men really want to demonstrate that love you by really fully accepting you and embracing you just as you are.
Yeah.
That would be my answer for that one.
Do you have any other questions on any questions?
And there was a question from Tegan, and Tegan from New Zealand. Thank you, Tegan, for your question. And she says, given that men are conditioned by the media to see women in a certain way, what practices can they participate in to change the perceptions of women?
Wow,
so nice question.
Very nice. Very, very, very empowering. Well, I feel that it's like all of us in our journey have to, you know, it's everybody's in our journey, right? Every one of us in our individual journey. So it's when we get clarity about our own strength, our own power, then we can contribute more effectively effectively to society. Like what you said, sister, that when we are so caught up with these minute things, we are not able to look at the big picture and what we are set out to do in our life. So it's
Mm.
these stuff, these small things that we are so busy with that we are not able to look at the bigger perspective of life. So if everybody's clear in our journey of what we are meant to be doing or our purpose in life, in other words, we actually can become more effective in the way we lead others and be empathetic or be collaborative with others. So
Yeah.
when in this instance, when a man is able to get back his power in his clear state of mind, I feel that the answer to that question will be to walk a clear journey of being authentic themselves.
Mm.
So when men take back their power, women take back their power, then it's like a complete game that we can play in a very effective way together. And it's always about how we can contribute more to the world. And that can only happen, and we have been saying this again and again, is loving self. And the
Yeah.
love for self is like never ending. And that's my take on it. And of course, all these movements, like really, I mean, I don't have a time to walk the roads and say stop shaving hairs. All right, that's not me. That's not my mission. Definitely.
Yeah. And my answer to that, Tegan, is I will invite men to go into personal development.
Yeah. So that's it. High five, sister.
Okay, men out there watching this, if you have not done any form of personal spiritual development, highly encourage you to do that, because if you are expecting your woman to look in a certain way in order to make you feel good about yourself, then you got to ask your question, okay, why are you doing that? Do you really need that? You don't need that. You don't need a Barbie doll standing right next to you in order to make you feel good about yourself. If you're really interested in you as a human being, as a spiritual being, experiencing life to the max, what about having a real woman who sees herself for who she is, and you being able to take her as exactly as who she is? Because I'm telling you this, men out there, if you have a woman who is not secure in herself, and because of that insecurity, she has to do all those things, okay, like changing her body, changing color hair, putting on makeup, doing this and doing that. And is this woman being really authentic? If she can be authentic with herself, how can she be authentic with you? And it might be a painful thing to realize that maybe you are dating somebody who is just, so inauthentic. Then you gotta ask yourself the question, do I really want to continue having this in my life? Your life is precious. You gotta think about this. You only live this life. That's it, And in previous hangouts, I said, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, darling, you are living here right now. Now. You don't have time to waste. So since you don't have time to waste, then you got to really look inside yourself. And if you are one of those men who have been conditioned by media, and by media, I mean these two things, okay? All the advertisements that we see on billboards and the sexualizing of women through pornography, okay? So if you are one of those men who got the idea that a woman looks in a certain way from the way they look in the porn videos, oh my God, I urge you to go on porn rehab so you can learn what a real woman is all about, because all these women that are there, it's all fake. And I'm going to share this. I was in Las Vegas. I think it was not this year, or maybe early this year. Well, one of my trips to Las Vegas, okay? And it so happened that I was invited to a party in the hotel where I was staying. So I went there, and I see these two models, right? And then this guy working behind the computer, and it was, I was there, there were other people, didn't think much about it. And then the guy who was behind the computer was kind of like joking with me, saying, oh, maybe you can be a model too. And I said, well, what are you doing? So then I went to take a look. And then what they were doing, it so happened that these so-called models, they were porn models. Okay, they were doing some videos, some stuff, you know, to sell on a porn site. And I was like, wow, you know, well, I just, you know, quit the job, but I was more interested in, you know, like, what are these people doing there, you know? And it was like in the middle of a party, right? And then what I got to see there, it was so shocking, because one of these models, one of them had really big boobs, okay? The other one didn't have really big boobs, but they were photoshopping her, you know, while they were doing all of that, right? And then one of the girls was saying, oh, what about if you actually make my eyes look in this way? Oh, yeah, yeah, and make my lip puff up a little bit more here. And I'm like, oh my God, that is just so sick. And these are the things that men are being sold. Can you believe that? You know, so then that's what, you know, if you are the kind of man that have been sold this idea of women, you know, through especially, particularly through porn, really, you really got to clean up your mind. Because a real woman doesn't look like that. A real woman doesn't act like that. And if you're really, really looking for love, true, deep, intimate, human-to-human connection, find someone who can help you. Yeah. Yeah, with all my heart, I'm saying this, okay? Because in my therapy practice, my clinical practice, I have seen also men who were hooked onto pornography, and it's a serious problem. Many men have that problem, and it's quite sad, actually. And one of the, I mean, there are many reasons why, you know, men get hooked onto that, but one of them is loneliness. So if you're a lonely person, look for some support, someone, a professional that can really help you so you can get out of that. You don't need to be stuck into that kind of activity, that kind of world. So yeah, so men out there, there is more to life. There is more to women. They just, you know, looks. Yeah.
And also, I feel like, you know, when women, when men, how they can support is also be more appreciative. Last week we spoke a little bit about, you know, giving compliments and everything. So to become more appreciative of women will really support them. To say that, like, you know, it's okay, you know, you don't need makeup. You look naturally beautiful, you know. That's what my husband always tell me. That's so reassuring, you know, when people tell you that you're looking good, and you know, especially with or without makeup, you know. So that assurance actually supports women,
Yeah.
especially if they are in this journey of coming out of whatever artificial stuff that's being perceived in the community.
Yeah. You know what? And I made a decision. You know, I still got some makeup left in my makeup box, but I don't put on makeup every day. You know, like I will put on makeup just, you know, on rare occasions. You know, and but then I was thinking also to myself, you know, like, you know, I walk my talk, so then that whatever I have left there, that's it. I'm not buying anymore. That's it. Made that decision. Yeah. Also made the decision just to let my hair grow naturally, you know. And because for me, okay, the big dilemma that I had before was, okay, so if I have, you know, grown armpit hair and my legs are not shaved, my bikini line is not shaved, that, you know, probably a man will not want me in his life. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. So bye idea. I'm not buying into that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I had this comment actually on my Facebook, because now I have several women who are over their 50s, and they saying to the younger women, don't give a shit about people think about you. That's
Yeah.
their advice. Yeah, don't care about people what think about you. It's what you think of yourself. And also, most importantly, if you are shaving, getting rid of your body hair, it's about you, not other people. It's what you think of yourself, what you want to do with your body, what you want to do with your health. And as I'm going to repeat again this because I think it's very important. The hair in your body create a special electromagnetic field that protects you. That's why you have hairs on your legs. That's why you have hair in your pubic area. You have hair on your armpits, in your face, your eyebrows. Okay. So if you're gonna deplete yourself from that protection, then it's up to you. But yeah, if you're more health conscious and you really want to keep your energy levels high, your mind sharpness like this, then we advise you to keep your hair. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're rounding up for the day, and it's really like an hour since we got on the call.
Oh my God,
So
it's only been like 15, 20 minutes.
yeah. It's like
One flies.
the more excited we become, the faster the time runs.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna run off for the day. And is there anything else you'd like to add on, sister
Yes.
Alejendrah?
I would recommend you both, men and women, if you have not studied and practiced Kundalini Yoga, and I repeat, Kundalini Yoga, highly recommend you to do that because there is extensive research, scientific research done on the science of Kundalini Yoga for health, for spiritual development. It's phenomenal. And with wherever you are in the world, you will be able to find a Kundalini Yoga teacher. Otherwise, you can go to their website, 3HO, I think it is.
Well, you can also go to the website on the Universal Peace Foundation, UPF.
Yeah, you can they find information on Kundalini Yoga there?
Yes, complete information because they run a space in India, and they
Yeah.
have outlets all over Malaysia, Singapore, and quite a lot of other places. But they have a website that has got full information. Universal Peace Foundation, India,
Yeah.
or in
And
Singapore.
yeah, and the website for Kundalini Yoga is 3HO.org.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also another thing that I recommend you is to do research on the environmental impact on hair dyes and makeup.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't really need to go much in detail, but I mean, just think about this, okay? All these chemicals that go in your hair and then they get washed onto the waters, they end up somewhere in nature. And yeah, we cannot continue doing that. So if you will continue dyeing your hair, find alternatives. But please, 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 I beg you, please stop using the commercial hair dyes because they're really very nasty. And also not just for the environment, but for you, your health. It's really do your research, okay? And yeah, switch to a wooden comb. Use a wooden comb for your hair. Yeah, and don't pluck your eyebrows. Leave them alone, so your mind can work better. Yeah, and talk about this with your friends, particularly with your male friends, and ask them, what do you think about women actually just letting the hair just grow, and just listen and share those inputs with us because we want to hear that. Yeah, we gotta start the conversation. We gotta engage both men and women in these kind of conversations because if we keep quiet, that will just stay on the background. Nobody will know or hear about it. But once we start sharing, talking about it, things start coming up. Okay? So, yes, get in the conversation and we will have another hangout next Tuesday. Right, Azeeza?
We have weekly hangouts every Tuesday, and we come up with fun topics and a lot of inputs. And yeah, I think it's about really discovering ourselves as a human being, loving ourselves more, and really getting to the core of ourselves. And when we are busy with ourselves in terms of not anything but a self discovery journey, I feel that we can find a lot more fulfillment for ourselves, and peace starts within.
Yes.
And when we can create peace within, with ourselves, be at peace with ourselves, we are contributing not only to the world peace. As you know, my mentor says, you know, my guru from the Universal Peace Foundation, he says that 1% of the world needs to practice peace to ensure peace in the world. So this is something that is, I feel that that is the ultimate decision we can make for ourselves, just to be at peace with ourselves. No need to go out there and preach about peace. No need.
Mm.
No need to go
Yes.
out there and say that I'm a, you know, I want to have world peace. It's
Yeah.
just about us creating that within us, and
That's
then
right.
everything unfolds nicely in our life. And I'm so glad that we are able to address authenticity in this topic. I feel that authenticity is the key to a lot of other stuff that I'm doing and that we are doing in our life. And thank you so much once again for joining on this call.
Yeah.
And it's
And one
really,
thing.
really fun. Yes, yes,
So
sister.
before we wrap up, yes, what you were saying about peace. So again, men and women out there, how can you be at peace with yourself if you have this idea that you have to alter something in you in order to either feel appreciated, feel loved, feel accepted? It doesn't go together. Because if you're doing all these things in order to present yourself in a certain way, can you say that you have peace within yourself? Because if you had peace within yourself, I bet that you won't be doing any of that. Think about this. And
I think next week our conversations shall be around peace.
mm,
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so that's a good lead way. So write to us about what you think about peace, and connect with us on our different pages that you see on our tag, and we look forward to hearing from you, and also tell us more about how you practice peace in your life. That would be very enriching and encouraging for other women to know too, and other people, right? So once again, thank you so much from Charming Chennai, and this is Aziza.
thank
And
you from Auckland, New Zealand.
yes, and
Thank you,
see you
Caesar.
next
Thank
week
you everyone for tuning
from
in.
Singapore. See you next week from Singapore. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you then.